It's summer in the English countryside and I'm craving exotic refreshment from a faraway land. So naturally, I'm going for bourbon cocktails. Now, these American whiskey-based beverages are going to be great at all times of the year, but after a long, hard day in the sunshine, they're just going to hit different. Let's start with one that you might be able to make right now, the Gold Rush. No time to go to the shop to get lots of esoteric cocktail ingredients? Well, the Gold Rush is here to save the day in the event that you need an emergency cocktail for some reason. So long as I have bourbon, honey and a lemon, I'm all sorted. The security of having these ingredients accessible at home at all times definitely helps me sleep better at night time. My peace of mind is very important. For bourbon, I find that Buffalo Trace has a great bang for buck, or quid as we say over here, but feel free to use your favourite. Remember, I am in the UK and for many reasons, from legal to cultural, we don't exactly have a thriving craft bourbon scene over here. A lot of people I know still pronounce it as bourbon. The Gold Rush was envisioned in New York City's Milk and Honey by TJ Segal. The Gold Rush calls for a honey syrup. I like to make mine with 3 parts honey to 1 part hot water. If you're using an unsyruped honey, it will get stuck in the shaker and on the ice, making you feel like you've let down the hard-working bees of the world as well as yourself. The world of honey has a rich tapestry of interesting and unusual variants, often being a delicious expression of its local area. For this, I'm going to be reaching for my generic supermarket squeezy bottle. Let's start by adding 22.5 milliliters or 3/4 of an ounce of our honey syrup, and then another 22.5 milliliters or 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. Please remember to use fresh lemon juice here, or the cocktail police will come and take you away in the night. Then of course it comes time for our 60 milliliters or 2 ounces of bourbon. Add ice and give it a shake. Strain it into your glass over ice. I personally am quite partial to a lemon twist on my Gold Rush. The Kentucky Bark was created by Eric Castro at Bourbon and Branch, San Francisco. The original recipe calls for a single strawberry, but I like to add 2, since it makes it more fruity and more red, which is good because Wimbledon's on. Muddle your strawberries and think of England. Next, grab your Angostura bitters and add 2 dashes, 4 if you're using this particular fancy bottle. It's not inefficient if it's classy. Next, add 15 milliliters or half an ounce of simple syrup, and then 22.5 milliliters or 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, and 60 milliliters or 2 ounces of bourbon. Add some ice, give it a shake. Ice up a chilled glass and double strain. A bar spoon can help if the strawberry is haunting you. Now top it up with your ginger beer of choice. The lemon oils from your twist are always a tasty addition. Add your strawberry garnish and you're ready to go. The Kentucky Bark is going to appease both your cocktail enthusiast friends as well as your normie friends who only drink crushable serves, since it's got tasty, spicy complexity as well as being red and a little bit fruity. I do not let my cocktail enthusiast friends meet my normie friends anymore after the incident. The Kentucky Bark is delicious, but dare we go cooler? The Blueberry Bourbon Smash brings all the refreshment with crushed ice, mint and blueberries. Making crushed ice at home, even from regular freezer ice, can be quite easy. You can use your conjuration powers to summon it from the void. Alternatively, you can crush ice yourself. The whiskey smash that this cocktail is based on dates back to the 19th century, with OG cocktail legend Jerry Thomas including it in his book The Bartender's Guide, although it's very probable that cocktails like this with a bit of fruit in were being made before Thomas published his book. Start off by muddling 12 blueberries, and then add 3 mint leaves, before 22.5 milliliters or 3/4 of an ounce of syrup. This is normally done with simple syrup, but I'm using the honey syrup from earlier because I don't play by the rules, apart from when I have to add lemon juice. That's really important. Make sure to knock your camera when you're adding your bourbon. Add ice and give it a shake. Add crushed ice while thinking happy thoughts. Give your drink a fine strain. Add a splash of soda water. Cap with crushed ice and then garnish with a mint sprig. I like to wake up my mint's aromas by giving it a polite yet firm spank. The fruity blueberry and the cooling mint work really well together, with whiskey just making lots of things better. Let's voyage even mintier with the mint julep. Fantastic for even more minty refreshment, as well as the carp sort of making me feel like I'm at Hogwarts, but in like a really good way. Despite my childhood media diet, the cup was actually popular in the southern US, where they would be silver and given for celebrations for things ranging from weddings to christenings. This magical drink is a delicious combination of bourbon, mint, sugar and crushed ice. Julep drinks with spirits and crushed ice being popular in the US as early as the 18th century, before the mint julep became a symbol of the Kentucky Derby. For me, this drink is great while watching BoJack Horseman, since it is both USA and horse related. For best results, leave the bourbon and mint in your shaker in the fridge overnight for a more minty drink. Unfortunately, I suck at planning and rarely do this. We're going to start with about 10 mint leaves and 7.5 milliliters or a quarter ounce of rich simple syrup. Unsurprisingly, 60 milliliters or 2 ounces of bourbon. Add ice and shake. Add crushed ice to your fancy carp and double strain your cocktail. I reckon these drinks work best with a bit of a churn for extra chill and dilution. The common advice is to churn until the cup frosts, and then cap with crushed ice. Finally, well, you know how I feel about a mint sprig. The Banana Boulevardier is one of my favourite summer evening sippers. I first saw this indulgent twist on a Boulevardier on Holy City Handcraft's Instagram page, with the bourbon alongside Campari, a bittersweet Italian aperitivo, sweet vermouth for some botanical complexity and a little bit of acidity, and perhaps controversially, banana liqueur. Now some may criticise artificial tasting liqueurs like the one I'm using today. Despite there being fancier alternatives, in some circumstances I still prefer the more artificial tasting ones. But before I go on what my friends describe as Ed's unhinged banana rant, you'll need a drink. Start off by adding 35 milliliters or 1.2 ounces of sweet vermouth and 7.5 milliliters or a quarter ounce of Campari. We'll talk about the 7.5 milliliters or quarter ounce of banana liqueur in a bit. Add 35 milliliters or 1.2 ounces of bourbon, add ice and stir. Strain your cocktail over ice. Express some orange oils over your drink. You can add the peel as a garnish, but being extra is more fun. Look, so I wanted to just have a little sit down with you because I've got something to admit, right? Like, I really like the combination of bourbon and artificial banana. I know, it took me a little while to accept it, but I'm finally comfortable speaking about it. People being rude about your rather gauche taste in cocktail ingredients? Here are 3 cool techniques I like to use to stand my ground. The sage. Of course, artificial banana flavour is more reminiscent of the Big Mike banana, which was the commonly consumed banana before the Panama disease wiped them out. With the banana that both you and I enjoy today being the Cavendish variety, which comparatively lacks the artificial banana note. What we recognise as artificial banana notes comes from the compound isoamyl acetate. This compound greatly contributing to the Big Mike banana's taste, or Gros Michel banana as I struggle to pronounce. Think a sweet aroma of banana, bubblegum and pear drops. Of course, the industry doesn't get its isoamyl acetate from the Big Mike banana, what with its shiny Charizard status. You see, I'm not using artificial tasting ingredients. No, I'm actually a cocktail chemist, or alchemist as I prefer, playing with compounds and harnessing the power of isoamyl acetate. And yes, I do enjoy impressing people with that knowledge at parties. You can tell with all the smiling and nodding they're doing. the novelist. Alternatively, you could claim, like a bartender in a cocktail competition, that the artificial banana notes awaken a sense of nostalgia, with your olfactory senses ripping you through time, to memories of your nan taking you to a sweet shop after school. My taste in sweets at age 10 playfully contrasting with the elegant sophistication of the classic Boulevardier, developed in 1920s Paris by magazine publisher Erskine Gwynne. Paris, the 1920s, a man named Erskine, classy stuff, how playful in its subversion. The philosopher. At the end of the day, we are just on a rock floating through space, with the cocktail preference of others not being that deep on the scale of the universe. Drinking cocktails I enjoy offers a moment of solitude in this complicated business we call life, and I doubt I'll regret not caring what other people think about that.